Hello, brethren! With all the noise from the internet and the chaos brought about by all the lies and deceptions that we're hearing because of this so-called pandemic that we're having right now, most people are caught up in between stressful events because of this global crisis and stress by their inner fear and confusion. So, given all these, can we still expect the people right now to have quality time with God? In this video, we are going to find out why, despite being in the middle of this crisis, it is important, or actually more important for us to have more quiet time, more prayer time with God, and to continue our Sabbath keeping. Psalm 1 is about the beauty of obscurity in the life of faith. It speaks of the person who is planted by streams of water, who meditates day and night. What is the psalm speaking of about a plant that is growing along a river or stream? The psalm describes the person as one who is lush with life and full of the presence of God. Along a river or stream, there is often a space of grace for trees and flowers to grow. It is a tree planted where there is space for it to grow and water to nourish its roots. It is difficult to grow by the stream of water if there is no space there. There is a very healthy place for obscurity in the Christian walk. It is there in obscurity, not in the lights, that our character is most formed. We need obscurity. Jesus lived in obscurity for nearly 30 years before entering public ministry. In fact, Mary gave enough material for only one chapter regarding Jesus' childhood in Luke chapter 2. Like a river or stream that provides an area for plants to grow, the Sabbath provides much needed space for us to draw on the life source and grow. Sabbath does that. It gives space to enter into obscurity for the purpose of Christian maturity with much needed renewed vigor. For often, on the other 6 days a week, the life of the Spirit can go forgotten. The Sabbath was a day to focus on God's Spirit. What does Paul in his journey to Philippi do on the Sabbath day but go to the place of prayer as described in Acts chapter 16 verse 13? He was seeking a place to be with God in prayer and to connect with others who sought that same intimacy. The Sabbath creates much needed time for quiet, silence, and intimacy with Jesus. We desperately need obscurity. But our modern world is intent on keeping us from silence and solitude, scheming against moments of quietness, solitude, and prayer. Silence is scary for the world, and obscurity is difficult. Having a day of rest that may include silence can feel like a very long day. All of these thoughts and fears will run through our minds. But all we need to do with the things that arise from the silence is quietly bring them to Jesus as they come up. Doing so does not magically fix everything right away, but bringing them into the presence of Jesus generates a kind of lightness and transparency. Because with Jesus, we can hold the pain of the silence with His strong hands of grace. One phenomenon of the last 100 years that has completely changed human history are the light bulbs in our homes. During the time of Jesus, of course, when the sun went down, so did human heads. The lives of normal human beings were entirely mediated by the presence of sunlight. In fact, to have lights in one's house was incredibly costly. One estimate says that in the ancient world, 15 minutes of light provided by a lantern or an oil lamp would have cost one entire day's wages. Can you imagine that? 15 minutes. So normal people would be up and at it when the sun was out. But when the sun went down, you had a lot of time to simply be by yourself, in silence, on your bed. Just like the Sabbath, it gives us silence, a kind of revolutionary tranquility that goes against everything it means to be person of the 20th century. Why did we develop an allergy to silence and obscurity? It's because we have created within ourselves such a need to do and accomplish and make that effectiveness becomes the rudder of our entire existence. Thus, silence terrifies us. When we are silent, we're thinking we would have nothing we can tell people we have done. But contrary to this, and in reality, spending time in silence allows the things that crowd our existence to empty out. Just like a lake that is being drained, and once drained out, garbage and other debris can be found at the bottom, which in turn could be cleaned up. This is what silence can do. It gives us space to see what is at the bottom of our souls. Same thing is the Sabbath, gives us time to simply be with God as we study and become nurtured by His Word. The number of times that the Gospels describe Jesus as simply reclining at the table with His disciples has always been staggering to me. We may think that the Sabbath day is a waste of time and we are not getting anything out of it. But we can never be truly human without living in communion with God. Sabbath invites us to live with God as our first parents Adam and Eve did in Eden. We may not be taking the Sabbath seriously or as a priority or even write it off out of fear that our worldly cares are most important this time. Nevertheless, it is not right and it is unhealthy for our souls. For as we all know, Sabbath is the fourth in God's 10 commandments and the consequences of the violation of which are eternal. We hope that you learned from this video. Brethren, it's more of a gentle reminder for all of us not to partake of the rat race that's been going on in the world that we are in today. And also, it should remind us to always take some time to pause and give silence a chance to help us realize about the things that truly matter. And do not forget, no matter how difficult your situation is right now, just like what the video said, you just have to entrust all of them, all your cares, all your concerns, all your problems to Jesus Christ. And you can do that through your prayers, daily devotions, and of course, Sabbath keeping. Brethren, we really have to attend to all these things and holy activities because it is in these holy activities that we're able to commune with God. And if we're able to commune with God, we are able to hear His voice and get His message for us amidst all these chaos and all this noise. For those new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more updates about God's present truths. Once again, from your family here at Amazing Word Ministries, this is Donna Ozawa wishing you all Happy Sabbath!